Last time, on The Intern, we witnessed the thrills and frills of the final day of boot camp and the selection of our Lagos finalists.
It's a miracle and I thank God.
I'm really happy to be here.
I'm overwhelmed with emotion, seriously.
Jeffrey and Sonia also found their way back into The Intern following the unavoidable absence of our UK candidates. We also brought you some snippets from the first few days arriving at the Intern house, where we learned from the contestants about their opinions of each other.
I admire Kumbi. I admire her a lot. I think she's very smart.
Who will be the next Dan Godi, the next Tyler Perry, or the next Oprah Winfrey? Everyone at the top started at the bottom. It's time to find the stars of tomorrow. It's time to find The Intern. Today on The Intern, our contestants meet the boss for the first time. Make your voice heard, tweet The Intern, or post on our Facebook page.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of
See what others can't. Meet the 41 megapixel Windows Phone Nokia Lumia 1020. Nothing else comes close.
Welcome back. Whilst our contestants relaxed, they found time to show off their other talents, like Della, who might do well as a dance instructor.
Help my unbelief. Olaya, that's what
Kunbi quickly found out that dancing wouldn't be a wise career choice for her.
I was at this one.
Hop like a giraffe.
I'm already making ridiculous.
And Jeffrey also found out that singing should never be his career path.
Give me 240.
Sante.
280.
Make the hole you need.
Coming up next, the fun is cut short as our contestants get a call from the boss. Join the conversation on social media. Make your voice heard. Our contestants are caught off guard as a call comes in from the boss with their very first task.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you
The task is set. It is of a culinary variety. The boss wants our contestants to sell a popular goat meat delicacy called asu. Coming up next. With the task set, our contestants break into teams. Make your voice heard. Tweet the Intern or post on our Facebook page. Whilst Kunbi is a unanimous choice to lead the ladies' team, the choice of Vava as team leader of the men's team was not as straightforward.
But I'm still skeptical about you having that push that I would love our team to have, because I would want our team to have that drive, that push. Marketing in Nigeria is a tough place. It's a rough place. You need to kick stones. You need to do stuff. You know, you need to do so many stuffs. To get what. So I don't think that Vava has that. Also, you know that he's a Ghanaian, and I respect the fact that business is business everywhere. But I think in Africa, Nigerians are very peculiar. So I think that we need someone who knows the market, who knows the terrain.
It's not good to judge someone based on facial, what you see. Being a leader or a business person, you should be able to penetrate the market anywhere you find yourself. So whether you're in Ghana or you're in Nigeria, as a leader and as a business person, you should be able to penetrate the market, set up strategies so that you'll be able to sell your goods. That's what you're interested in.
So what are the names of our teams, and why did the teams choose Kunbi and Vava as team leaders?
We chose Kumbi as our leader, and supporting or assisting her is Ola. Well, I actually thought Ola would be the best person to lead, but she decided to nominate Kumbi, and everybody chose Kumbi. So, and then the name for the team, we said Zephyr, which means gentle breeze.
Well, I think I was, I wasn't expecting, because I was trying to push it to someone else. Not because I didn't want to take the responsibility, but once 2 people or 3 people mentioned that I should be, I decided to take up the responsibility. So I feel good about it. I look forward most especially to winning the task. That's all that this is about.
I'm with Team Avant-Garde. Team Avant-Garde, we decided to choose that name because it represents what we want to show. We want to show people that we are the guys with new ideas. We are the guys that we are innovators. We are modern. We are cut out from the old kind of thinking. So it was, at first we started with being conservatives, but we realized that we really don't want to be conservatives, but we want to be innovators. So that's why we chose Avant-Garde.
I, for one, nominated Vava, a Ghanaian guy, to be our team leader. And this end that I believe, first of all, everybody here in this show, we all merit to be team leaders. And as our first task, and knowing that I have seen other people we've worked together during the boot camp, but I haven't seen him, and I want to know his strength and weakness.
It's a mixed feeling, actually. First of all, I am happy to have been chosen to lead a group, considering that these are all intelligent guys, and they decided to let me as their leader. It's a privilege to lead them, and also it becomes a challenge that I have to live up to their expectation. So though I'm happy, it also means that I have to work extra hard to meet their expectation. So I'm happy, but on the other hand, it puts more challenge on my shoulders, which I'm happy to assume.
choice of team names and leaders out of the way, teams now get down to talking strategy.
Marketing strategy. How are we going to sell out the, what's it called again? How are we going to sell it out? What's our strategy? We don't even know the location yet.
So you don't know the kind of people we are going.
Well, I think as soon as being sold in joint, beer parlor, joint, but the destination will be giving us. So we don't know
that's not called out. We don't know where exactly is until we have the location.
So we're looking at target sales, production, the logistics, and then marketing and sales. Under production, we have good meat, spices, we have chips, veggies, serviette, zobo, toothpick. What else is critical for, packaging.
Coming up next, the boss is in, and our contestants meet him for the very first time.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy.
Ola, tell me about yourself.
Extroverted. I'd say intelligent, adventurous, and God-fearing.
My name is Magdala Precious Nyavo from Ghana. I went to Central University College, studied Human Resource Management, and I completed this year. And I'm the only girl of 2 boys.
My name is Vava Agbeko. I'm a Ghanaian by birth, and I studied purchasing and supply, so I'm a procurement officer.
My name is Adetunbi Adeoye. I work with Shishawa Support Services. I am a lawyer and also a human resource professional. I am from a family of 7. I'm the 6th child.
I'm a computer scientist and I graduated from Benue State University, and I'm into agriculture, like a little bit of mixing computer and agriculture.
My name is Chibuka Onora. I'm a sales agent and right now I'm a copper.
My name is Henry Ikeche. I'm a graduate of accounting. I finished from International University. I like to read, both novels socially and also just like something that entertains me.
So, which of our contestants do our contestants consider a threat?
Who would you say challenges you the most in the house?
Okay, so I would really don't like seeing, it as a challenge. Actually, I like to use the word respect. The person I respect the most, and that would be Kumbi, because she has had a lot of experience, and she is doing things already that even outside the house I would love to do a few things with her, and so far she typifies the kind of youth that I would really want to see in Nigeria, because she's young, she's a woman, and she's already engaging herself in big things.
My favorite housemate is Kumbi.
Kumbi?
Yes.
Why?
Because I respect her ideas, and I respect that she's a woman, and as a woman, the idea of womanhood in our African culture is you are in the kitchen and you are just an instrument for birth. And so seeing a young woman striving and struggling like that encourages me.
So you see her winning the show?
I see her as a viable contender in the show.
You see her as a viable. Are you here to watch her win the show?
No.
So
that's why I don't see her winning it. She is a contender. I am winning the show, sir.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy.
Join the conversation on social media. Make your voice heard. with both of our teams based at the same venue, it can lead to some unhealthy competition.
The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive?
Selling can be frustrating, as Michael all too quickly finds out.
Hello.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
Should we bring more coffee?
All their speed has combined into that.
Michael, I don't
Get
like
a new
stop
one.
this.
It's
Sam,
fresh.
Don't even drink that.
It's fresh.
No, I'm not
It's
drinking.
contaminated.
It's finished. It's finished.
Ours is sealed.
In business, you don't run down.
They have been running us down.
You said
They have been running us down.
It's up to you, the door is open wide. Feel the rhythm of today, learn the part and join the play. The world is here, let's take it for a ride. You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could. Larger, larger than, bigger, bigger than, living hopes and
It's not at all a civil affair, as both teams try to poach customers from each other.
you could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You can have all you ever wanted.
Some of our customers seem to have bought out of a gender bias.
Because they were girls, and I felt like went from them.
I got from the guys because I deal more with the guys. They are straightforward.
Some customers, it seems, were impressed with a particular team's selling technique, and that's why they bought.
I think the ladies are doing way better than the guys. The guys are not doing as good as the ladies do. For me, that's what I see. That's from my own point of view, yeah. So I think they marketed well. They were able to come across to me, yeah. So I had to buy from them.
Well, I met with Henry, so he actually gave me a refreshing drink, called it Divine Drink. Well, he's kind of jovial. He made me take that drink, and actually nice. I think it was probably the reception, the way he pulled me to him, you understand? It wasn't like I had a choice. Let me put it that way. He just like, you know, came towards me, and he had that catch in his voice. That was it.
This customer thinks the quantity of the product they're getting for the money they're paying compared with what they get at the market is too small.
The meat was nice, but quite little though. But it was okay. And the drink was okay too.
Coming up next, who made a big sale and whose moves were too little, too late? The boss is in, the boardroom is set. There is tension and anxiety as teams wait to find out which team has made the most profit. First up, it's Team Zephyr to present to the boss.
Could you tell me what you understood by the task and what you understood you were meant to achieve by that task?
We understand, or I understand, it was the sales task for the sale of ASU. And it was mostly about how, it was mostly about strategies in selling the product, what exactly, how we could sell the product, putting the product together and bringing it out for sale. And of course, getting the most of it, of the sales.
Right. Okay, let's go through this, then I'll come back to my questions.
The task was about production and sales of ASU. And we came up with different strategies on how to package the product and how to optimize the sales. Our major focus was on production. We focused on enlarging the Asun sales. So we got in complementary products, which includes Chapman, small chops, as well as we have the little car wash. Focused on price variation, which included Asun we sold 500 and 1,500 naira per pack. For Chapman we sold 200 and 500 per pack. Small chops we sold 500 per plate, and car wash we also did 500 per pack.
Make your voice heard. Tweet the Intern or post on our Facebook page. There's discrepancies in Team Zephyr's report, and members of the team seem to contradict one another, but the boss lets it fly. For now.
Now, I've looked at the portion of Asun you sold. They were rather small quantity, smaller than what normally obtains, and yet you sold it at nearly 3 times, over 3 times of what it normally sells on the market. Were you trying to take advantage of the fact that you were on a reality show or what? Or taking advantage of the fact that people were looking at you at that point to sell it at the price that you sold it, or what?
Usually, from my experience buying Asun, what you get is a very tiny plate for 300 on the average. That is if you stay in a low-cost area. But when you stay in a high-cost area, it's usually 500 naira for that same portion. And ours was a bit more than the regular portion you get for 300. That is the one we sold for 500. And then the different range.
I'll come back to that. How did you find out, let me ask, that question? That the pastor of the church you were going liked Asun. Who told you?
It was intuition, basically. It was our plan from the beginning to approach him and hopefully have him buy some. But luckily for us, we got there and found out he actually had more passion for Asun than we thought.
So you decided to sell half a tray to him at what price?
He wanted the full tray initially, but considering the fact that we knew that we had to, each pack was 500, and the minimum we were selling was about 100 bags. That was supposed to be 1 pound, and 150,000 naira.
Sorry, let me take that from where she stopped. Okay, at the time when we got to the church, we realized that we did not even have the product when we met the pastor. The product wasn't even available at the time.
Yeah.
So we met him. We were planning to do delivery to his house. So we offered him to taste the Asun. We were selling the Asun at the time, at that production time, for 1,000 naira per pack. So we were to make 100 packs from what we had. So 1,000 times 1,000 was 100,000. So we negotiated, he wanted to buy the whole tray, and we negotiated for him to buy half of it.
And how much did you sell the half to him?
We sold it, we got to sell it at 70 because we gave him an extra pack.
Coming up next, OFEM queries the team's creative accounting.
Now, sir, may I? You sold Asun to Pastor Femi Paul for 70,000.
Yes, sir.
Why is that not in your report?
It's not in our report because we already knew we've been selling packs.
No,
in packs of
you
100.
did not sell that particular portion in packs. So we would not know how many packs were in the 70,000 you sold. So not putting it on your report, it's a bit, so if you allow me, a bit fraudulent.
Okay, this was what we were thinking. We knew we were going to take 100 packs from that whole Asun.
So if you are going to take 100 packs from that whole lesson,
yes,
and then you sold half of it.
We sold
You sold half of it, for 70,000, and the total cost of the Asun is supposed to be 100,000. So what you're supposed to have should be
30 packs.
30 packs.
Yes.
So if you sold half to him and you still have enough to sell to make some of the figures you made here,
Yes.
then something is wrong somewhere.
Okay. What exactly happened was that there was a bit of crisis, and while we were waiting for the product itself to arrive, we had some other products we were expecting.
We see the, you put down a lot of the breakdown.
And then we had some other aspects.
Are concerned. We're not judging.
Yeah, sorry, no, wait. I want to listen. You had some other Asun. Yeah, where did you get that from?
There was a crisis, and then we actually kept ours, and the guys ate theirs.
Okay, so what you've told me now means that you had over 100 packs.
Not over 100 packs.
No, because she just told me you had some. She told me that your Asun hadn't arrived. You're telling me you had some Asun. And what you have here is 100 packs. Now, if you sold him half the tray, which means you sold him 50 packs, okay, at 70,000, okay, and you still had how many packs? 30 packs left. Or how many? 50 packs. Now, if you sold it to him at 70, and you sold the remaining 50 at 1,000, assuming at 1,000 naira, this your report would be wrong, because whatever way I look at it, your figures are out of sync.
Okay, let me make it clearer. So, we sold half of the pack to him, and we negotiated 60,000 naira. By the time the check was given to us, it was a check of 70,000 naira.
Mm-hmm. So did you report that? I mean, why didn't you put in your report that you sold at 60, but you got tips of? I mean, I would have expected you to say that wasn't part of the sale.
I'm sure that was an oversight.
It wasn't an oversight. It was. I mean, you. So that shouldn't have actually gone into part of your sales. It wasn't part of your sales. Because you negotiated how much? 60,000. Because I was listening, you said 50, you said 60. And then you went on and said 70. And I waited, so I was waiting to find out where the truth lied. Vava, I want you to tell me what your team understood the task to be, what strategy you wanted to use, and what you thought you were meant, not what you achieved, but what you were meant to achieve by the task.
We were supposed to produce Asun and sell and make the most sales out of the Asun at a designated place. So that's what the task we were given.
What was the aim of that task? Do you know?
Is to see how smart we are in terms of selling and how innovative we can be in trying to create a business like selling us.
Thank you. Do you think you achieved those?
Yes.
Okay.
Because we didn't want to do any try and error, we decided to outsource the production of that song. That is, we identify a supplier and we develop that supplier to supply according to our specification. As part of our strategy, we decided to develop or create a banner which the purpose of doing this banner is for the people to identify quickly with us and the purpose for which we are on the street. So that is how we did this, and also for advertising. And we did one-on-one sales and also group selling. We contracted the supplier paid part. The reason we paid part was to use the rest of the money to be able to do other stuff, because we had a budget which was within the 20,000. So we paid part, and then we contracted that we pay the rest after sales. So we used the rest of the money to do stuff like the banner, we bought airtime, transportation, and we did, to complement that, so we decided to produce Zobo, which is a traditional drink which complements the Asun. So we used this, the rest of the money to produce Zobo, which we sold with the Asun.
We found that the quantity, the plate you used for your Asun was very, very small, and you sold it for 1,000. Would you, any of you, buy with your own money, sincerely, that Asun for 1,000?
Yes.
Would Vava, and this is, you need to come up, because the Asun that you sold for 1,000 naira, its street value is 250 naira to 300 naira, depending on where you're selling it at. Did you take advantage of the fact that you were on the show to sell your Asun at a price that is unattainable anywhere?
Okay, I wrote in my findings that if Asun is well packaged and neatly presented, it doesn't matter how much, if the price is reasonable, people will buy. Because
do you realize we got feedback from people you sold Asun to, and they said we wouldn't buy except for the fact that they were on the Intern? And if we say we gave you this task to establish that Asun business is one of the business young people looking for employment can self-employ themselves with, have you sold it right to make them believe they can just pack it a little quantity, that their competition on the street is not selling for 1,000 and they can sell it for 1,000?
I'll say yes, because we didn't just sell at church, we sold at the Magodo gate.
Make your voice heard. Tweet The Intern or post on our Facebook page.
You did try to find out.
No, I didn't.
Not
He
you.
didn't.
How do you know you didn't?
Because
You were not all together at the same time.
Team Avant-Garde are smooth talkers, but beneath their smooth talk, OFEM spots discrepancies.
Yeah. How many plates of Asun did you have in the kitchen at the time the task has closed?
At the time the task had closed.
Okay, sir, that would be difficult to say.
Wait, excuse me, I'm asking a question. You came in with 3 plates into the kitchen. 3 plates of Asun.
I didn't come into the kitchen. I'm not this hard. So I was in ground.
Wait. You came into the kitchen with 3 plates of Asun. Your colleague Henry came in later with a plate of Asun.
That's 4.
That is 4 plates. And I know that a few of your team members had some plates of Asun.
I can explain.
No, I'm coming. So how many plates of Asun did you have left?
2.
2.
Yes.
You had 2 plates of Asun left.
Yes, sir.
And then you had 4 extra.
There
Now,
is-
if I'm coming, so if you had 100 plates and you sold 98, we should have 2 plates of Asun left.
Yes, that's
so
right.
where did the other 4 come from? I can't count the ones that we did not see, but where did the other 4 plates of Asun come from?
The boss has listened to Avant-Garde and has taken OFEM's counsel. But what is his take?
You spent 5,000 on transportation. What transportation?
Okay, actually, I was the groundsman. I did the dirty work. I was the one doing the running around. Considering Lagos traffic, and we needed to get some of our products to people who live far away, as far as I can. and I had to navigate through Lagos traffic,
But
which included me.
can I ask you a question? When you were given the task, it was specifically set for a specific location. You're moving out of that location negates that sales strategy or the task.
Sir, can I make a point here?
Yes.
It was stated in our first task that how do we make our sales if supply could be included, and it was said that it was at our own discretion.
Yeah.
That was what was said. So we decided to incorporate supply, those who we know that are willingly.
So you sold to people. I mean, you made phone calls to your family and friends. And taking advantage of that, you went to some. No, but you went out. I was cheating. Because your people were in Aja and you totally took advantage of that to go deliver in Aja. How many units did you sell to your family and friends? Sincerely.
Just a couple of plates. We sold, I think, 15 plates.
15?
Yes, 15.
So I'll deduct the 15 from your,
On the street, who is your competitor?
A competitor for me is anyone who will limit my sales.
No. Your competition is the next guy selling asun by the roadside. The question is, will that guy spend his transport to travel to Aja to deliver a pack of asun? The answer is no.
Coming up next. With the boss's decision unknown, candidates return to the boardroom to learn their fate. Who has survived? And whose intern house stay has come to an end.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of
See what others can't. Meet the 41 megapixel Windows Phone Nokia Lumia 1020. Nothing else comes close.
The teams think they've done well, but did they impress the boss?
We've listened to you. One of the things I would advise you is that if you're safe, you need to go back and rethink so that you're not caught out again. We're watching everything that pertains to every task, and I'll go through your figures, no matter how minute, and every I that isn't dotted and every T that isn't crossed will get you into trouble, as it has. Now, let me start with the boys. It's very obvious, having looked and listened, that there was a bit of discrepancy on your part, a bit of fraud taking place. However, because I couldn't pinpoint exactly what was going on, you came in with a figure of 98,700, which was okay, but having looked at it, I'm deducting 13,300 from your figure, and that leaves you with something a bit lower. Ladies, I listened to you. You contradicted one another without really realizing it. Your reports told me one thing, your words told me another, so the story became complete as you spoke more and more. There were quite a lot of omissions on your part. You sold 142,100 according to your report, but you failed to deduct the initial 20,000 that was spent, which left you with 120,100. I further deducted 35,000 from your money, and that leaves you at 80 something thousand now. It's not about the money you make alone. It's about the whole strategy. It's about thinking out of the box. It's about planning and getting the right information. A lot of things went out. You went out of your way to try and get information on the boys. They claim they didn't get any information on you. But that's neither here nor there. But at the end of the day, I feel that both of you, though you tried, being your first task, you both failed to achieve the objective of the task, which is basically to do things in an honest and truthful manner.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of
See what others can't. Meet the 41 megapixel Windows Phone Nokia Lumia 1020. Nothing else comes close.
The realities of leadership and responsibility hit Kunbi and Vava as they find they are automatically up for eviction. Although now they have to pick one member of their teams they believe let the team down to face the music with them.
Adetunbi, you were the team leader of Zephyr. Why do you think, what do you think you did that should keep you in the house? What leadership qualities did you bring in?
I think I held the team together when there was no liaison that wasn't brought in. I think I gave direction. I think I motivated the team into bringing multiple sales, which was what was our major target, and we made sure we pushed very, very hard.
Right. But at the end of the day, you allowed some errors to come into your reports and things. But you were the team leader.
Into the boardroom, yes, I'm the team leader.
Who takes responsibility for that?
I take responsibility for the team.
What would you say Ola did that brought the team down?
Okay, while we were preparing for the task, she wasn't present at our strategy sessions consecutively, and anytime she came in, she brought varying ideas. While we're trying to move in one direction, she wanted to put us in another.
Ola, why would you think your team leader should be the one to go out and not you?
Okay, first things first. Strategy sessions. The times I was aware of the strategy sessions, I was there. And
were you saying there were other times you were not informed?
Exactly, there were other times I wasn't informed. Considering sales, I negotiated the majority of the sales. The 70,000 naira sales we made, I made the negotiations.
Do you think that you were the weakest link?
No, I wasn't.
Was your leader the weakest link?
Yes.
Whose duty was it to inform everyone about the strategy sessions?
I did. I called in everybody when it was time. In fact, at the strategy sessions that Ola missed, she was present there and she took an exit. The only time that Ola came into a meeting was on the day of the task. She didn't know. If you ask her who the vendors were, she doesn't know who the vendors were. And most of the issues we had with her was bringing news from downstairs. This is what happened. She comes into a strategy session and she tells us this is what the guys are planning. Most of the time we try to look away from what exactly was being said to try to focus on the task. So there were conflicting issues. We weren't very, very comfortable with, we didn't know if our strategy was being taken downstairs. And it became very obvious when the leader of the other team approached me in the course of the whole production, and he asked me if we could let one of our team members, that is Ola, produce, make the ASUM for them.
Michael, why do you think you're here?
So the truth is that I really should not be here.
Why do you think you're here?
I don't know. I really don't know what he's thinking. You know, but I really should not be. I guess because it is a tough call for him because he was leading 4 other people who were exceptional. You know, I guess it was a tough call for him, and you know, and he just had to find someone. Maybe because I wasn't agreeing to his leadership in the first place. Because in choosing the leader, I wasn't. I didn't vote for him to be the leader. Maybe, you know, but because I think he did it because he just made a call, just felt he should just call someone's name and an important.
What do you think about his leadership qualities?
Like I said before, Vava is laid back. He's too laid back, and in the honest truth, he didn't need to lead us in this task.
Well, a leader doesn't need to have all the information. He's supposed to use all the information.
Yes, sir. I agree with you, sir. But that also was lacking with his leadership. He didn't understand how. He didn't understand the how. You know, so it was a struggle for him. All he kept doing was agreeing. Yes,
if you were not in this position, if you won your task,
yes, sir,
will you still say the same things about your leader?
Exactly, sir. Because even after the task, I told him that Vava, this task has made you different from who you used to be.
Do you think that you started out with a mindset of not cooperating with him because you did not vote for him as leader?
Of course not, sir, because I was at all strategy sessions and most of my ideas was adopted by the team.
We had a lot of eyes. I did this, I did that. It was me. Do you consider yourself a team player?
Of course I was a team player.
Vava,
Sir?
what do you have to say as a leader?
Michael is very smart and very intelligent, no disputing that fact. But like I said, he was not cooperating and he was just not ready to submit to me. I remember during our very first meeting, he was just not ready for the meeting. I remember again, I went calling him because I've received one information from Mr. Fem to pass to my subordinate, and then it became war between us. Why was I calling him, what, and all those stuff. He was just not ready to cooperate. And he made things very difficult for me as a leader.
Right. What's your explanation about your coming in contact with Ola during your task that led to the altercation between you and Kumbi?
Okay, I have said that I didn't know what Asun was. Initially, I was thinking it was kebab. So I said, okay, I can prepare kebab. But they were saying it wasn't kebab. So we were looking at the option of preparing it ourselves or outsourcing. So I then asked what it was and how it could be prepared. That's how come I have to say Ola's advice.
But don't you think it would have been better for you to have sought the same advice you were seeking from Ola and to keep Ola out of your team, to have kept it within your team?
The reason I asked Ola is because, first of all, we are all going to produce our song.
It doesn't matter.
Yes.
Do you realize by doing that, you were giving your team away?
The boss lets Kunbi and Michael off the hook, and it's lovebirds Ola and Vava who face the possibility of going home.
I've listened to every one of you. I've looked at what was written. I've read between the lines. Now, having read between the lines, I can only at this stage ask the following people to go back to the house. Michael, you can return to the house.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir.
Kumi, you can return back to the house. The reason you're here, Vava, is because as a leader, you're to take responsibility. One of the things I expected is that regardless of whatever is going on, you must always carry your team members along. As much as possible, you're supposed to be the center of your whole team, not the one pulling apart. Going to the opposition or to your competitors, even trying to sow seeds of discord in there, is a very negative approach. And that was only because you were close with Ola that you were able to do that. Now, you told me you had sent Ebuka to go and get the Asun prepared. Yet you approached Ola to try, or you approached Kumbe to ask if Ola could actually prepare the Asun. That is not right. Ola, you need to become a team player. It's all about being a team player. No matter how strong you are as an individual, if you don't have the supporting role being played by others, you can't play all the parts. And as long as you create the weakness between you and the next person, then there's no bond. And people would penetrate that gap that you've created. And what happens? You lose. Vava, as a leader, you need to be firm, you need to be strong, but more importantly, you need to carry your people around along with you. You fail to do that, no matter what you feel, I'm telling you. You don't go about creating alliances with your competitors when it will be detrimental to your own business. The only time you need to create alliances is when it's beneficial to you. In this case, it was never beneficial. I've thought about it, and I'll say, as of now, Vava, you can return back to the house.
Vava is off the hook.
Ola, you're here because I feel that you haven't put in your best. I believe you have a lot more in you than what you've shown. And you only have one opportunity usually in life. And if you don't take the best of that opportunity, it might never come back. You always need to take that best opportunity. I'm going to place you on probation because I believe you still have a lot to give this show. I'm not going to send you home. You can go back to the house. Thank you.
Next time on The Intern. Ola finds business can be ruthless, and even small margins can make all the difference. And before our contestants can catch their breath, a new task is assigned.
Times are changing everywhere. Do we dream and do we dare? It's up to you. The door You could be larger than